After writing 2 transformational books myself and supporting many other beings to do the same, I've become enthralled by the deep and mysterious magic that's activated when we choose to say yes to ourselves and commit to the book writing journey. Of course, we want to inspire change and new perspectives in our readers, but the transformation that happens as an author, both throughout the writing process and by actually releasing your book into the world, is surprisingly potent. I know I've been blindsided in the most disruptive and delicious ways by some of the changes my books have brought into my life. Writing a book is like casting a spell. Although we can never be completely sure what's going to be unleashed during the process, we choose to do it anyway. This Unbound one is a heroic journey. Each book has the potential to be a magical portal, a doorway to a new world, both for you and your reader. Each book has a very specific medicine that it's here to share with us. And each book gives us the opportunity to alchemize the magnificent imperfection of our experience into gold. The truth is that anyone can write a book. We could all get a few thousand words down and put them together. But what fascinates me is what happens when we allow the book writing process to go deeper. When we say, fuck it, get naked and dive way down beneath the surface. Letting go of the shoulds and any need to be acceptable, sensible, or approved of. What fascinates me is what happens when we make ourselves fully available to being transformed by the very act of writing a book. This is Unbound Writing, and this is the process we'll be exploring together here in the Unbound Writers Club. I'm Nicola Humber, author and founder of the Unbound Press, and I help magical beings to write the transformational book they're really here to write at this time. I'm your guide here in the Unbound Writers Club, and the aim of this podcast is to help you to feel supported, encouraged, activated as you embark on your book writing journey. Whether you're a first-time author or have many books out in the world, my hope is that you will find something here to inspire you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the Unbound Writers Club. From a little bit croaky, Nicola. I have had the lurgy the past couple of weeks, but feeling better, thankfully, and really excited to bring this episode to you today, which is focused on a brand new collaborative book from the Unbound Press, Wake Up Mother. So, Wake Up Mother is curated by our very own Sarah Lloyd, who's one of our authors and also our PR magician here at the Unbound Press. And it's quite hard to put into words what Wake Up Mother is. It's more than a book, basically. And Sarah came to me with this idea towards the end of 2021 for a book collaboration, which is not so much like some of the other collaborative books we have done. This book, I mean, it really has been a collaboration in the truest sense of the word. So let me tell you a little bit about Wake Up Mother. This book has been written for mother with a capital M. We're really talking about the mother energy here. It's for those women who have felt lost, alone, unsupported, dimmed, squashed, uncomfortable, unable to speak truth for fear of it highlighting the shadows. It's for the mothers, sisters, witches, bitches, whores, and good girls. It's for the mothers of children, yes, but the mothers also of furry friends, businesses, and creative projects. Mother is when we are most fertile physically. It's when we begin to nurture, guide, and support those around us. It's our creative blooming. It's the ripening fruit, our period of birthing ideas, businesses, and babies. And it's also the time that we're asked to quietly shoulder a lot. Societal pressures, conditioning from authorities, media exposure, and emotional immaturity are all designed to keep us forever in maidenhood. So Wake Up Mother is a book where we get to explore all of that. And the women who have contributed to it, obviously, are sharing their piece. But really, Wake Up Mother is part of a bigger conversation, which we would love you to be part of. So in this episode, you will hear from Sarah and many of the other contributors to Wake Up Mother. And as I said in that introduction, this book is really not just about at all giving birth to children, but it's how we kind of harness that mother energy to create generally in the world and what comes along with that. So I'm excited for you to hear from the amazing beings who have been part of Wake Up Mother as it makes its way into the world. And to join the conversation, please do reach out to me and certainly to Sarah to let us know what comes up for you. And yeah, grab yourself a copy of Wake Up Mother now. It is out, available on Amazon and all other online booksellers. So I really hope you enjoy it and enjoy this episode.
Hello, I'm Sarah Lloyd. I'm the founder and curator of Wake Up Mother, the book, the community, and also the co-founder of Mother Speaks, the radio show and podcast. I'm also the founder of Indigo Soul PR. So I wear many hats. What made me want to be part of Wake Up Mother? So as the founder of Wake Up Mother, it was a calling. It was in the middle of lockdown. I was in the shower. I had been getting up at 4:00 in the morning to manage client commitments and then moving on to homeschooling and looking after the kids and doing all the things. And obviously coupled with, the very loudness that was going on outside, there was a lot to hold. And I felt that maybe it was me being in a martyr, but I also knew from the communities that I sit in or were sitting in at the time, we had lots of online communities because obviously for various reasons we weren't able to meet in person, that were feeling very much the same, that we were put in this situation and the mums and, my husband was great. I'm not disputing that the men didn't step up. What I am saying is, as primary caregivers, a lot of the weight at that time fell on our shoulders. And, caregivers and nurses and midwives and all of anyone who is in a caring, nurturing, holding space situation. And that led me to, I parked the idea for about a year. And then I was on a walk with Nicola, the founder of the Unbound press, and I realised that I needed to put a voice to what had come to me in the shower that time. I needed to step up and do something. And there's lots of other active women's groups that are doing things as well. But what I wanted to do was just give women a voice. I wanted to share people's stories, not just about that time, but just generally as mother. And the premise of the book is it's not just about those who have birthed human beings. And I'm not diminishing that by any stretch of the imagination, because I had two very interesting and expansive experiences with my own two children being birthed. But what I have found is as I've met people along the way, of becoming kind of an entrepreneur and working in the female in a female space, women, they create such magic when they come together. And for me, it was a dream to just call in a group of wonderful women who are each very strong, very capable, have their own businesses, have their own families in some respects, and are space holders for those who have children. You kind of need to read the book. There's so many different stories in Wake Up Mother, and I just feel I wanted to just give real people a voice. How do you decide what to write about? So the book is made up in several parts. There's a first section that talks about some of the conversations that we had in Circle. So one thing that I wanted to try and do was this collaborative book. It was very clear it was to be a weaving, and it was to be a weaving of stories and spaces to clear any wounds, anything that needed to come up. We had some very unabridged conversations, some very clumsy conversations. We talked about all kinds. Not all of it made it into the book. I think this is why the radio show has made herself known, because I think that there is more to be shared. And the more we talk about these things in safe, non-judgmental spaces, the easier it is to shift our wounds and move through healing. A big part of this, I think, started on the Shakti Farts retreat, where we were sitting in circle, and I don't think I've been in that situation for a very long time, where I was sat with a bunch of amazingly magical women and there was no tweaks or judgment or feeling of left out, any of the feelings that we get often in our friendship groups. And that then sort of created this mother group, because we were all mothering each other. There were times when some of us were really sad and the others were looking after us. It's kind of what we do in community. But I think the one thing that I found, and this is obviously answering the question in a really roundabout way, was mothers' meetings get a really bad rep. We are, the witches in the coven. We're off scheming and plotting. We're off bitching and moaning about other people. But what I wanted to shine a light on was the goodness that comes out of these spaces. If I look back to when I've really needed women and I've needed that support, I've always been in community, whether it's been with the school mums at the school gate, where we've all just became friends because our kids get along, or whether it's meeting women who are creating businesses much like mine and the Unbound Press, who, just for support and holding your space essentially. So it was really difficult to know what to write, because I wrote my story, which I've kind of shared a little bit of now, but I also wanted to do mother justice. So we added some pieces around the symbols. We added some conversations, as I mentioned, from some of the gatherings that we had. And then also we kind of made it like a sandwich. There's some real lovely insights from some of the authors to share. And, just give advice. None of us are parenting coaches or experts in that sense with certificates, but we have it's lived experience. And I think that's what we wanted to show, is that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a certificate to be a mother. You don't get a certificate to be a mother. You just wing it. And, what if there was another way to be a mother? What if we could make it a bit easier for future mothers or our generations to come? I think that's what this work is all about. It's really about just trying to pave a better way for the future. Why do you think Wake Up Mother is so important at this time? I think Wake Up Mother is so important at this time because, as I kind of mentioned already, I feel like the Wake Up Mother analogy is not woke. It's about I think the realization for so many of us who have contributed to this project was, when we became mother, it was very different. We struggled. We had, we weren't shown the rite of passage that perhaps other cultures have been shown. You're kind of just flung in, you have your baby and you're kind of sat there for a week, and then you kind of expected to know. And there's a lot to be, said around women's intuition and a mother knows. But I guess the flip side of that, and I know someone talks about this in the book, is actually you're made to feel like you don't know, and you are made to feel like you haven't got a clue. And I think that goes for most women, without broad brushing, but my own experience, either in business or as a mother, I've always come up against people who've made me feel less than. And I don't think I'm alone in that situation. I also feel like it makes the whole role of mother a lot harder, because you're battling through that feeling, but also trying to be the mother. What I think this book is about, and why this is so important, and conversations around this is so important, is to, for mental health purposes, for well-being purposes, to, when we all sit in circle, when we share all our warts together in a safe space, that's sometimes when some of the healing comes up, and it enables us to transmute that stuff. It also means that we're not just sat there alone in a ditch, and there are other women sitting around us going, well, I've had a very similar experience. This is how I dealt with it. It's just great because sometimes just someone's lived experience is all you need. Some guidance, some support, someone to hear you without fixing the problem. I think that as well is something that's really quite deep rooted in all this work and all of these circles that we've created, is we can offer you our insight, but what you do with it after that is entirely up to you, and it's not about fixing people. It's about just empowering them with the knowledge that perhaps maybe someone a couple of steps ahead of them in their journey has lived. And, also enables us to really step into our, emotional maturity as a mother. I write about how we are often kept in our maiden. We're trying to stay, we're searching for the philosopher's stone or the font of everlasting youth, but we never really acknowledge and step into our queen or our crone, because it's seen as, it's got bad rep as well. So I feel like it's a beautiful nod to growing old gracefully and really stepping into our wisdom. I really hope people enjoy reading it. And, I would say there's more to come. There definitely is more to come. We have a community and we'd love to invite people to join that, or certainly start kind of sharing articles and stories. And we also have, as I said, a radio show where we can actually speak into some of this stuff. So, thank you for having me on, ladies. I hope people enjoy reading Wake Up Mother.
How did you decide what to write about? I think at first I was so excited to be part of this incredible collaboration that I was flitting between lots of different things, but not actually feeling that any one was right. And then I sat with it for a little while, kind of tuned in, and I really just then instinctively felt that what I needed to write about really came from the heart. Looking back, would I have written the same thing? Probably not. I feel like I'm changed, even from just this short year. These 13 moons, I feel have already changed me so dramatically. But I do feel that my motherhood, my homecoming still rings very true now. Really seeing it as this returning to a sense of self and maybe to the heart space, really just honoring the slowing down and meeting myself at the very essence. So it's been amazing, but it was hard initially because there were so many different ideas. But just this returning to this hearth space, this home, a place where I feel really comfortable, and it's really me, I guess, really embodying this mother energy. So it was an absolute joy to finally find the topic that I wanted to write about.
Hi, I'm Alison. What made you want to be part of Wake Up Mother? Truthfully, in the beginning, I didn't want to be part of it. My heart said yes with excitement, and then I had some resistance to that, to showing up and putting myself out there. But then I realized that actually it's not about me, it's about helping other people. Becoming a mother was the most life-changing thing for me. It was a big wake-up call where all my previous identities I built up around myself were shattered, and it was a big awakening for me. So I know that I'm not the only person that has or will experience that, especially at this time on the earth. So I had to get over myself, basically. I had to put my identity self to the side and be more in service to help others. So that's really what made me want to be part of Wake Up Mother, because I know there'll be other people who are feeling this way too.
Hi, I'm Karen Roundtree, writer, medium, therapist, and one of the contributors to the incredible Wake Up Mother. What made me want to be part of Wake Up Mother? For me, it was really about the power and the potential of that word, mother, and about the pain it can hold too. When I was initially invited to take part in the project, I was really daunted. I'm someone who very much wants to be a mother to children in this life and haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. So I found myself thinking the old line of, who are you to do this? But I also felt a kind of fire within that told me I couldn't turn this down, that made me excited for the wisdom this book will hold. I think that idea of motherhood and the mother is something so potent, so beautiful, and so intrinsic to the inherent power of the feminine, and yet it's also something we've jammed into a very specific box that we often use to imprison ourselves and one another. And that's something I really wanted to speak to for the good of all women, including myself. How did you decide what to write about? In honesty, I'm not sure I had much say in what to write about. Every time I sat down with a defined idea, writer's block would hit hard. But the voice of the mother is strong, and when I opened up and allowed her to write through me, I found the words flowed. And they were really about that cage, about our societal ideas of and judgments on the word mother, and about stepping out of those to reawaken the true power of the mother within us all and within our world. Why do you feel Wake Up Mother is so important at this time? We are waking up, all of us, to a sense of our deeper power and our deeper wisdom, and to a remembrance of what it is to hold and be held by one another, to hold and be held by this planet, to hold and be held by ourselves. As always, it's mothers who lead that charge. It's mothers who show the way to all of those who look to them for support, for inspiration, and for guidance. And if we're really going to step into that new beginning, if we're really going to come back to that place of remembrance, we need to embrace those mothers in our world. And we need to embrace the true power, the true wisdom, the true being of the mother within us all. I think this project, this book is so important at this time because it speaks to such a sense of ferocity within that mother, and also such a sense of beautiful, nourishing love and support. It's one that brings us home to the mother within ourselves, whoever we are, whatever our family circumstances or whatever labels we carry within the world, and reminds us of the beauty, the power, and the love of the mother within us.
Why do I feel Wake Up Mother is so important at this time? Oh, that is such a huge question. Yeah. Hi, I'm Zoe Foster, immersive energy artist and sacred expression facilitator. And this, honestly, when Sarah first proposed the idea of Wake Up Mother, not just as a book, but as a potential movement, I really felt it deep in my soul. And of course, as we know, the mother energy speaks of so many different parts of us as women, but also as a society. And where I felt it was in connection with Mother Earth herself and with how we treat her. Because let's face it, we're not treating her with respect. We're not honouring her needs, even at a basic level, her cycles and rhythms. At every turn, we attempt to control the mother energy. We tarmac, we create metallic surfaces over the earth just so that they're convenient for us to drive on. And we create these structures that suppress and suffocate the earth. We try and fence round areas of the earth and label them as private. And this is particularly relevant in terms of the right to roam on Dartmoor at the moment, which has just been in the news. It's a fascinating thing for me when I get really curious about the idea that actually we have to live in the energy that we create and that we support. And so if we are creating an energy that does not fundamentally support Mother Earth herself, but also our own mother energy, then who are we really? Are we automatons? Are we simply products of a system? You know, what are we here for? And for me, that strikes at the core, because I believe in a society where we're here to create an abundance, an expansiveness from our souls, and specifically honouring all of our needs, whether that's the masculine, the feminine, or the combined, the yin and the yang together. That's what the mother energy, and that's where we need to wake up in particular at this time. That's what that means to me.
Hello, Unbound Press. It's Kathy Bell, breathwork facilitator and business mentor and coach for heart-led entrepreneurs here to answer my question, how did I decide what to write about? I chose this question because it carries the most meaning for me, because I was one of the last authors to contribute to Wake Up Mother. And that was because I allowed myself to buy into the belief that because I only had one child, I didn't have much to offer, and that I really didn't have that much to write about, and that I didn't necessarily maybe deserve a piece of a big piece of the pie. And that was really, it was a really interesting process to navigate through that summer of 2022, watching everybody else submit their chapters and still be there, lurking in the background going, oh, I'm not sure what to write about. And so the process that led me to my chapter was something that I would love to share with everybody listening. And that was this leaning back approach that I had. So I had to lean back. I had to let go and trust that I had to trust that feeling that I knew I was meant to be part of Wake Up Mother. Like, I knew from the moment Sarah told me about it that I was supposed to be part of Wake Up Mother. And I even though I didn't have anything to write about initially, I had to trust that I did, and that work and those words and the story would move through me in its own time. And so really, how did I didn't decide what to write. I trusted that what I was supposed to write about would come through me at the right time. And so, yeah, as I said, I let everybody else submit their chapters all through the summer. And then right at the last minute, I got the inspiration. I was actually getting the tap on my shoulder from my intuition, because the title, I Never Set Out to Be a Space Holder, kept tapping me on the shoulder. And I immediately, once that came through, I immediately started to connect the dots and realize that that was the title of my chapter for Wake Up Mother. So the story that I share in Wake Up Mother is of how at the time of my daughter's birth in 2011, very shortly after my husband lost his father, and this kind of sent ripples through our family life. And I spent the first 5 years of my daughter's life holding space, not only for her, but also for him. And I realized in this moment, and, writing this story, that I definitely did have a place at the table, and that my story was worth sharing. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you love Wake Up Mother. And sometimes we just have to let go and let God lead the way. And that's how I decided to write my chapter. And I hope you love it. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Hello there, my name is Dulcie Batt, and I am absolutely honoured to be one of the contributing authors to the fabulous Wake Up Mother. I'd like to share today what made me want to be a part of Wake Up Mother. In answer, it was a calling, and when I heard the call, every part of me lit up in response. It was a holy hell yes, this is something important and to be part of. Now, I am a birth empowerment coach and a Mama Joy activator. I work with women to ease their transition into motherhood through pregnancy, birth and beyond. And I feel it's so essential for women to remember who they are in this transition phase, for women to have the tools to tap into and trust the power within them and their incredible innate body wisdom, and use that as a resource to step into motherhood with a calm confidence that will ease their path. Now, the call to action, when Sarah Lloyd connected with me, I just realised this was an amazing opportunity to gather with some incredible other women, to share wisdom, to learn and evolve, and collectively to come together to ease the path of mamas so they can feel good on the journey. I really feel like joy is our birthright, and as we grow and the layers of responsibility build upon us, we can forget, particularly as we step into motherhood with all its responsibilities and mundane tasks, that we can forget that is at the very centre of us. So staying close to that, staying lit up, consciously navigating their path, honouring themselves with love and nurture so they can serve from the saucer. So rather than from a depleted place, which is so often the narrative around motherhood. You know, getting mamas to wake up and turn that on its head and instead realize that by nurturing and nourishing themselves is one of the most selfless things they can do, because it means that they are able to serve from the saucer. So rather than a cup, it's the cup that's overflowing so they can serve from the saucer. So it has been an absolute joy. I'm so delighted I listened to the call. I hope that you do too, in terms of reading our wonderful words. Together, we really have created some powerful magic here. And yes, so delighted to be part of it. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Deborah Kilby, channel healer and spirit baby medium, and author of Rose's Choice, held by the Unbound Press. And I am so honoured and delighted to be a part of this incredible book, Wake Up Mother. This book that is so opening and expansive and beautiful and honouring of women and all experiences. So what made me want to be a part of Wake Up Mother? So this is really a lesson into trusting the universe. I was very much called to reply to Sarah when she was saying, I've had this inspiration for this book, Wake Up Mother. You know, would you be a contributor? And I thought, this book is so about my work. It's so about me. It's so about what I believe and feel as a mother myself, as a mother of 2 boys and as a mother of 5 babies in spirit, and the awakening that happened because of all of those experiences. I also work with Divine Mother. So this was such a book. I thought, yeah, of course I want to do that. But there was something that wasn't feeling right. What am I going to write about? What am I going to talk about? And I couldn't find the words, and I couldn't find that thing to just press yes. Okay, yes, I'm going to do that. So I just let that go. I said, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to have to let that go. It's not meant for me. I was following my intuition on that. How I've become a part of that. So I met Sarah in person at this beautiful Awakening Festival in the Isle of Wight, and I was talking to her about a message I received from Mother Mary. So as a channel of the Divine Mothers, Mother Mary had come through with this beautiful message about the mother energy, the Ma energy, and how we are expanding that word mother from who is, who isn't, who has not, and the kind of smallness of that word, expanding it into the Ma, the energy of the energy that births all. And so I shared this message with her, and she said, oh my gosh, this really needs to go in the book. Would that be okay if you joined us after all? And so it wasn't how did I decide what to write about. It was my words were not meant to be heard, because they're all in my book, Rose's Choice, already. And the incredible women have covered an awful lot of the experiences that I really resonate with. So it was the words of Mother Mary that were to come in to sort of bring a close to the book, if you like. So that was trusting the universe. I knew I was meant to be part of it, but I just didn't know how, and that is how it came about. So why do I feel Wake Up Mother is so important at this time? It really is this expansion, this, the woman, whether you are a mum or not a mum yet, or even wish to be a mum, this is not the mother energy. The mother energy is the expansion energy. It's the birthing energy. Divine Mother always says to me, our creations are already there. We already created them. They're hovering about in the ethers in one form or another. And our role is to birth them. Everything is birthed through the mother. And the more that we can expand through these words that have been, made into something that, less than, much as women have actually, to see the value in all experiences of the mother, to step into your mother energy, no matter what you are creating. This is your birthing energy for all your creations and all you are. And it's such a beautiful, expansive book. I could feel this little thread unwinding within me as I was reading all the beautiful words from the other women. Like, just relax. Be you. You're amazing.